I'm standing here in the cloisters and the ruins of the old Franciscan Abbey in Askeaton, which is part of my parish in the west corner of Limerick in southwest Ireland. These ruins remind me of what St. Peter says about the need for us to be living stones, but also about the stone that has been rejected by the builder, because this abbey didn't just fall apart. It was suppressed at the time of the Reformation. And for 400 or 500 years since then, our religious differences, which have been the minutiae of theology, have been used and abused, and sectarianism continued to rise and define people on this island. And yet in Ireland, the Franciscans who once lived within these cloisters, within this abbey, within my parish, represented a new strand of thinking in Christianity, a new part of the diversity, the plurality that is Christianity. Because of course there had been Celtic Christianity here at one stage, followed by the Anglo-Normans who were speaking French, and then the Franciscans who were probably of English origin but strongly influenced by Italian culture. And even though they were suppressed here at the Reformation, for 200 years, the friars and the monks who had been here remained living stones. They stayed on in this area to be with their people, despite adversity, despite suffering, despite those sufferings that St. Peter talks about in his letter. They stayed with the people. And they're a reminder of diversity, pluralism, the need for tolerance in our society, even in a remote corner of Ireland like this, that we can overcome diversity, we can overcome it when it becomes sectarianism, that we can be pluralist, that we can end our divisions, because we are supposed to be living stones, not just cornerstones that were rejected by the builders of Tudor Ireland. These are living stones that point to the need for us to have a living faith that stays with the people in all their problems, in all their sufferings. And St. Peter in that letter, in that first epistle, talks about the need for pluralism and tolerance, and yet to engage with government when it is oppressing us. So we need to find examples of how we can move from just being inside a church that is old stones that are falling down, to being a church that is a living stone and that has Christ as its cornerstone.